Hello and welcome to the very first All Change review. My name's Richard and I'm going to be your host today. In this series we're going to have a look at some of the different coins in and out of circulation and from around the world. We're going to look at some of the facts and figures behind them and discuss them in general. I'd like to point out when I say around the world, though I do mean mostly the UK at the moment, as that's where I live and that's where I've got most of my coins from. So, if you're new to coin collecting or you've been collecting for years, welcome. So let's get started. The first coin we're going to have a look at today is one of these old style 50p pieces. And the one I actually have here celebrates the United Kingdom's accession to the European Economic Community, or the EEC as it was known. A bit of the background to these old 50p's. They were first brought into circulation in 1971 to replace the old 10 shilling note, or 10 bob note as they were known back then. And it was just part of decimalising the whole of the UK's currency, but we'll come on to that in a later video. It was the first coin in the world to actually be minted with 7 sides in a shape that's known as a equilateral curved heptagon, which as you can see basically means curved or rounded 7-sided shape. It's actually made from a copper nickel alloy called cupronickel, which is 75% copper and 25% nickel, and these old ones actually come in quite a hefty weight of 13.5 grams, which is fairly heavy when you compare it to today's coins, which are only 8 grams for the 50p piece. We've got a diameter of 30mm and a thickness of 2.3. So there were, and then bear with me on this number, make sure I get it right, 89,775,000 of these minted, and it was the first commemorative coin minted post decimalisation, which probably explains for the extremely high numbers, because most come in at about 5 to 10 million nowadays. Okay, a slight jump there because the batteries in the camera just died. Let's look at the coin itself. The portrait, or the face side, is of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Machin. It's the second portrait that is of her that's featured on coins, but we'll cover off portraits of Queen Elizabeth in a later video. Particularly as there's been a new one released this year by Jodie Clark. So let's turn it over and have a look at the reverse, or the tail of the coin. There we go. So as you can see here, we have 9 interlocking hands, the words 50p, and if you can just make it out, the year it was minted, 1973. The design itself was done by the world famous, if not necessarily critically renowned sculptor, David Wynn. He's a sculptor who's worked with the Beatles, the Royal Family, Pepsi Cola, just to name a few, and his work can be seen all over the world. In fact, if you're ever in Crystal Palace Park in London, I recommend keeping an eye out for a large black gorilla, all carved in marble, called Guy, which I personally have memories of playing on as a child as well, growing up. But I digress a little. The reverse here, you can see the 9 interlocking hands, and they represent all the countries, including Britain, Ireland and Denmark, when they joined the EEC, or the European Union as it's now known. And they clasp each other to represent a mutual gesture of assistance and friendship. In an actual interview I listened to on Desert Island Discs on the BBC website for this, you can actually hear him talking briefly about this design, and he says the hands in question were his wife's, his 2 sons, his own, a model he was working with, and an old friend. Now that's only 6, so maybe he used a couple of them twice, I'm not sure. So I've had a look online at different sites where you could buy and sell these to see what you would possibly get if you wanted to sell one of these today. Of course it all depends on condition, when you're selling them, if anyone actually wants to buy them at the time. But for the last 5 sold, they went for £1.75 as an average, but that wasn't including postage and packaging. But it all depends, because it's a very tricky thing, the coin market, so it's only a guide. So personally, I quite like this design, but I also like the coin, but I think it's more a personal attachment, as my granddad gave me this one as well to add to my collection. So that brings us to the end of the very first all change review. What do you think of this coin? Do you have it yourself in the collection? Are there any other coins you'd like us to review? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, and please feel free to like and subscribe. So thank you for watching. Until next time, keep collecting. Bye.